Hello, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and hello, Steeler Nation. Welcome to the latest episode of the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. I'm your co-host, Owen, and today we're asking, is there really a four-way battle for the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback starting roster? So, guys, we now have four quarterbacks. Count them, 1, 2, 3, 4. Four quarterbacks, guys. We've gone from a few months ago only having one quarterback actually signed to the roster, that being Mason Rudolph, to now having four quarterbacks actually signed to the roster. Now, obviously, we would have liked it to be a situation where Dwayne Haskins could have competed for that position, but after his tragic death in Florida, we're now in a position where we have these four guys now who are going to compete. Now, doesn't stop that tragedy being any the worse, and obviously our thoughts and prayers will always be with Dwayne's wife and family. But four quarterbacks now on this roster. Originally, it was seen as a competition between Mitchell Trubisky and Mason Rudolph. Now we have Mitchell Trubisky, we have Kenny Pickett, first round pick at pick 20. We have Mason Rudolph, and we have Chris Oladokun as well. So four quarterbacks on our roster. Who is it going to start? Now, the money doesn't give you any sort of clue. Sometimes, obviously with starting quarterbacks, it's the salary that gives you a clue. If one quarterback is being paid substantially more than another, it does drop a big clue, doesn't it? That is your guy, that is your quarterback one. Now, Trubisky obviously is on a 2-year contract, of $7 million a year. Pickett is obviously going to be on a rookie deal, a 5-year deal, which obviously is good for most teams because that allows them to continue to build and not have to pay their quarterback big money. Mason Rudolph is on a 1-year, $5 million deal, and Chris Oladokun is on a 7th-round rookie deal. So we've got a situation where there is no one quarterback standing out on the salary side of it as been the starter, and any one of them could be the starter, anyone could be the backup, and it wouldn't be a situation where you would think, oh my goodness, we are paying our backup way too much money. Now, let's have a look at the candidate, shall we? Let's have a look at Mitch, Mason, and Kenny. And obviously, we'll have a look at Chris Oladokun as well. Now, obviously, Mason Rudolph was the man in possession. He was the guy who was left on the roster after Ben Roethlisberger retired. Mason Rudolph has had 10 starts in his career for the Pittsburgh Steelers, has a 5-4-1 record as a starter. And has, well, let's face it, guys, he doesn't have the best record of having the backing of the fans, does he? There's a lot of fans who do not like Mason Rudolph and do not think that he should be the starter under any circumstances. Now, if we look at Mason Rudolph's career with the Pittsburgh Steelers, now, he obviously played first in 2019. When Ben went down with that elbow injury. He had an opportunity there to really impress, really to put his hand up and say, yes, I am your starting quarterback of the future. So in 2019, he played 10 games. Obviously, didn't start all of those. 176 completions from 283 attempts, 62.2 completion percentage, 1,765 yards. He averaged only 6.2 yards per completion, 13 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. There was times, obviously, that was during the season where he suffered a concussion after the Myles Garrett incident. He also suffered the collarbone injury. But was actually benched for Devlin Duck Hodges. In 2020, he played 5 games where he attempted 43 passes, completed 25 of those with a completion percentage of 58.1%, 325 yards, 7.5 yards average, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. In 2021, he played in 2 games, 35 completions from 58 attempts, 60.3 completion percentage, 277 yards, 4.8 average, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So career-wise there, 17 games played, 236 completions, 384 attempts, 61.5 completion percentage, 2,366 yards, 6.2 average, 16 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions in total. So that's Mason's record. Now, Mason Rudolph has 1 or 2 concerns, obviously, around him as a quarterback. He is described as having no pocket awareness, no pocket presence. He's not aware of what is coming for him and what is around him. Sometimes he's described as seeing ghosts. I mean, the interception that he threw against the Detroit Lions, the ball as he threw it was nowhere near any of the Pittsburgh Steelers receivers. Analysts have also said that he struggles with reading cover 2. Rudolph is obviously got quarterback stature at over 6'5". He obviously has expressed on a number of shows his intention to compete for the starting job this year. The any backing that he's really received from the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise, which is very interesting, was the comment that Kevin Colbert made when he said that if the season started today, Mason Rudolph would be our starter. Well, at that point, he was the only quarterback on the roster, so it kind of made sense, didn't it, that he would be the starter at that point in time. The other thing that sort of concerns me, obviously, as regards the Mason Rudolph situation, is that the Pittsburgh Steelers leaders, the guys who are the leaders on the field, the TJ Watts, the Cam Haywards, the Minka Fitzpatricks, the Najee Harrises of this world, at no point have ever really endorsed Mason Rudolph as a starter. Now, you can call me a Mason hater, whatever. I'm just reporting the facts. This is what these guys have done. Harris listed off a whole list of quarterbacks that he would like to play with, and at no point did he mention Mason Rudolph. If you look at the comments that were made by TJ Watt and Cam Haywood, TJ Watt said, so this is what the article said I took this report from. Like Harris really seems to favor the idea of the team bringing in someone from outside to run the offense. TJ Watt said, I trust the guys upstairs to be able to bring in a guy that can win us some games. At no point during that interview did TJ Watt take any opportunity to actually give Mason Rudolph a mention or an endorsement. Cam Haywood, on the other hand, said, I'm just looking for somebody to come in and lead the front on offense, deliver some touchdowns to a guy like Claypool and Deontay Johnson, hand the ball off to Najee Harris. He added, we have some really good pieces on offense. I don't know who it's going to be. It's going to be interesting. I'm glad I don't have to make those decisions, but hopefully we will get the guy we need. Now, as you can see, at no point during those interviews did either Cam or TJ endorse Mason as the starter. Now, if you've got a guy on your roster that you see as being your future, surely that is the position. As a team leader, you come out and say, yes, we've got our guy. He's our starter. He's the guy who's going to lead us next season. I'm fully backing him no matter what we bring in during free agency or what we draft. But at no point did the team leaders do that. Now, obviously, Mitchell Trubisky was brought in from the Buffalo Bills, where he was the backup to Josh Allen. It was felt, obviously, that it is hoped that his time working with Brian Daboll and Ken Dorsey and Josh Allen will have developed him even further and improved him as a quarterback. Mitchell Trubisky has the fourth best winning percentage of active quarterbacks with over 1,000 attempts. In terms of Mitchell's statistics, as we can see there, career-wise, he's played 57 games. He's had 1,016 completions from 1,585 attempts. He's got a completion percentage of 64.1%, which is nearly 3% higher than Mason's. 10,652 yards, 6.7 average for his completions, 64 TDs, and 38 interceptions. And he is somebody who works very well on an RP offense. He's someone who, when motion is used, it works exceptionally effective. He's a very mobile quarterback, as can be seen from his rushing statistics there, over 1,000 yards rushing in his career. It's always been felt that, the Chicago Bears never really got the best out of Mitchell Trubisky, that Matt Nagy was responsible for that, for trying to turn him into a pocket passer when Mitch is very much a mobile quarterback, someone who likes to move around, who likes to extend the pocket, extend plays, something that would definitely fit in with the Matt Canada system. Now, obviously, the Pittsburgh Steelers drafted at pick 20 in the first round. They drafted Kenny Pickett, quarterback from Pittsburgh. Now, he's obviously a 5-year starter at the University of Pittsburgh. He has got some pretty decent statistics there, as you can see on the screen. Now, career-wise, we have 1,045 completions from 1,674 attempts, which is a 62.4% completion rate. Again, better than Mason's. Obviously, I know it was only at the college level. 12,303 yards in his college career, 81 touchdowns and 32 interceptions, and he averages 11.7 yards per completion. So pretty decent. Now, Kenny Pickett is someone who is the most pro-ready quarterback in the draft. He moves around a lot. He's got good movement. He's mobile. He can extend plays. He is a very promising prospect coming out of the University of Pittsburgh. The last guy, obviously, is Chris Oladukan, who is a transfer. He went from Sanford to South Dakota State, where he completed 261 of his 429 passes in his career. 60.8 completion percentage, 3,461 yards, 28 TDs, 8 interceptions, and he averages 13.2 yards completion. Now, You know what? Looking at this quarterback competition, this four-way battle, what is really the story for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Now, we're going to have Mike Tomlin throwing all kinds of shade at us, all kinds of smoke screens at us over the training camp at the Trobe, over the mini camps, over the preseason. We'll see. I think all four quarterbacks take snaps with the ones. We'll see them all play in preseason. At no point will he give away who we are choosing as the starter for game one of the 2022 season. That is just Tomlin. That's who he is. Now, realistically, guys, let's think in the real world. Who is realistically competing for the starting job? Now, if we think about it, it's Mitchell Trubisky and it's Kenny Pickett for me. You do not sign a free agent like Trubisky. You do not draft in the first round a quarterback like Kenny Pickett if you're not expecting these guys to contend for the starting job. I know Pickett is a rookie, but he is the most pro-ready. Plus, he's 24 years old going into the season, will be 25 years old during the season. How long do you really want him to sit for? Pat Mahomes is 25 already. So, the guy is up in age with Pat Mahomes. I'm not comparing him to Pat Mahomes. I'm not saying he's Pat Mahomes. But what I'm saying is, how long do you want him to sit for? And is this the opportunity we really have to start to build for the future? Put Pickett in there from day one and build for the future, the 2023, 2024, and so on, whilst this guy is on his rookie deal, get the most out of his 5 years. I think at the end of the day, we've got to look at it at who is going to get the best out of these weapons. Chase, out of George Pickens, out of Deontay Johnson, out of Pat Freiermuth, out of Najee Harris, out of CA3. Who is going to get the best out of them? And realistically, looking at what the Matt Canada system demands, that mobility of quarterback, that ability to use RPOs, to use play action, to use motion, we're looking at probably Mitch Trubisky or Kenny Pickett. Those guys are the best, I feel, at using those elements to the Matt Canada offense. They fit in better with the Matt Canada system. They're mobile quarterbacks. Mason is not particularly mobile. He's more a pocket passer. That's what he is. I don't think he really suits this system. Chris Oladukin for me would be a good QB3. Going forward, I think it's probable that Rudolph may well be traded. I think that would be the best policy. Try and get him a 6th or 7th round 2023 pick for him, given the fact the Steelers have at the moment only 6 picks in that draft. There's a possibility that come preseason, that come training camp, someone could go down injured, or they could not be happy with the options they've got. I mean, certainly if you look at Seattle, they've got Drew Lock at this moment in time and Geno Smith as their potential quarterbacks. Given the fact they don't seem to be very much interested in Baker Mayfield, who's the other option out there, or any of the free agents like Ryan Fitzpatrick or Cam Newton, could Mason Rudolph be an answer in Seattle? That's a possibility. Could we trade him and get that 6th or 7th round pick for him? So all possibilities, guys, all possibilities for me. But is it a 4-way battle? I don't think so. My personal view is that it's a 2-way battle between Mitch and Kenny for who is going to be the starter week 1. I think that it may be a 4-way battle in terms of who is going to fill the 3 slots, but it's a 2-way battle for the starting position, for the QB1 position, which I think is a good thing. I think Kenny Pickett and Mitchell Trubisky are the best options. I'm not a fan of Mason Rudolph, never have been. I don't think he's ever put his hand up and said, I am the starter. In interviews, he hasn't been very convincing. In his starts, he hasn't been particularly convincing. His teams average about 18 or just under 18 points per game when he plays, which means the defense have got to really work overtime to keep the Steelers in it. Anyway, let me know what you think. Is it a 4-way battle? Who do you want to see start week 1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, if you're watching this video and you haven't yet subscribed to the best, freshest new channel out there, Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate, hit that subscribe button and come and join the revolution. And let's finish this as we always finish, guys, with here we go, Steelers.